On December 9, 1994, a house in Mandeville, Jamaica was consumed by a sudden, violent blaze. Inside that house was a voice. A gift so pure many believed it was destined to carry the torch of reggae into the new millennium. But Garnett Silk's story wouldn't end on a global stage. Instead of escaping to the safety of the world that awaited him, he turned back. In a final, desperate act of devotion, he ran back into the inferno to save his mother. The fire took them both, silencing a legend at the very moment he was set to ignite the world. The silence that followed was deafening. He was only 28 years old. How does a man rise from teenage dancehall toaster to becoming Jamaica's spiritual voice of the 1990s? And how did it all end so suddenly? This is the story of Garnett Silk. And before we go further, if you love reggae history and stories like this, make sure you subscribe to Yaadie Legacy and turn on notifications. Because every week we uncover the real stories behind Jamaica's greatest legends.
Especially is the rod. Seeing? I'm gonna say, music is the rod and we are Moses, leading God's children to the promised land.
Born Garnett Damien Smith on April 2nd, 1966, in Manchester, Jamaica. The boy who would become a king was already a veteran of the stage by age 12. Performing under the moniker Little Bimbo, he cut his teeth on the vibrating floorboards of legendary sound systems like Soul Remembrance, Pepper's Disco, and Stereophonic. But even then, he was an anomaly in the dance hall. While his peers traded in boasts and clashes, Little Bimbo traded in truth. Moving through the Destiny Out national circuit, he began to slip profound social commentary into his sets. Reasoning where others shouted, and reflecting where others reacted. From his 1985 debut, Ram Dance Master to the Prophetic, Problems Everywhere in 1987, his lyrics revealed a soul that saw the world through a different lens. The dance hall was his classroom, but destiny was preparing him for a much larger stage. It was at Destiny Out National where a teenage Little Bimbo first crossed paths with fellow Manchester native, Tony Rebel. A cultural toaster with a vision, Rebel would become more than a peer. He became a catalyst. By the late 1980s, their paths converged again, and this reunion would alter the course of reggae history. Under the guidance of Rebel and the profound dub poet Yasu Zafari, Garnett began a deep immersion into the teachings of Rastafari. Slowly, the transformation took hold. He wasn't just performing anymore, he was testifying.
marching on toward. Lord, we not look back at all. Onward, Christian soldiers marching on toward. Lord, we not look back, but you will as a soldier. Yes, we don't pray the point. I'll keep everything. Hold on. Rastafari.
The brash energy of the dancehall DJ began to dissolve, replaced by a spiritual gravitas that moved beyond mere entertainment. He was no longer just a voice in the crowd, he was a messenger in the making. And then came the moment that changed his career forever. The transition was sealed when the legendary Derek Morgan heard the young artist's voice and offered a piece of fatherly advice that would reshape his future. Stop toasting. Start singing. When Garnett finally leaned into his melodic gift, the result was nothing short of a revelation. His soulful cover of Killing Me Softly with his song served as his official introduction to a new world. This was no longer the rapid-fire delivery of Little Bimbo. This was something rare, velvet smooth, and deeply resonant. In that moment, the dancehall DJ died, and the singer, the messenger, was born. It was the visionary producer duo Steely and Clevie who finally convinced him to shed his past and embrace a new identity. From that conversation, Garnett Silk was born. A name chosen specifically for a voice that was smooth, rich, and deeply emotional. Yet, the transition wasn't an instant success. From that initial contract, only the duet We Can Be Together with Chevelle Franklin was released. Discouraged by the slow start, he retreated to the quiet hills of Manchester. But sometimes, rejection is merely the fire that refines purpose. In the silence, he wrote, he reflected, he grew. And when he finally emerged to join Roof International, he wasn't just a singer. He was a force of nature.
One of my songs, Music is the Rod, and We Are Moses.
The period of isolation in Manchester had done its work.
Strike the rock.
The voice was now a weapon of spiritual warfare.
This rod now is striking the heart of the people, making true love flow.
Now let's give thanks and praise unto the Most High. Jah! Rastafari.
When Garnett Silk finally stepped into the studios of Roof International, the transformation was complete. Under the guidance of producer Courtney Cole, the floodgates opened. The tracks he cut at Roof International weren't just hits. They were cultural tremors that shook the foundations of the dance hall. Songs like Mama, Seven Spanish Angels, and I Can See Clearly Now began to dominate the airwaves. Suddenly, the Silk sound was everywhere, a perfect marriage of roots reggae consciousness and modern production. He had bridged the gap between the street and the sanctuary. As his popularity exploded, it became clear that this wasn't just another artist's rise to fame, it was a movement. The message was clear. Garnett Silk had arrived, and the world was finally listening. The year was 1992. The world was about to witness a masterpiece. His debut album, It's Growing, produced by the legendary Bobby Digital, was a sonic tapestry that redefined the genre. Woven with deeply cultural themes, spiritual anthems, and tender romantic numbers, the album became a phenomenon, skyrocketing to become one of the top-selling records in Jamaica. And suddenly, the very foundation of the dancehall began to shift. Alongside heavyweights like Buju Banton and Capleton, Garnett Silk became the vanguard of a new movement, steering reggae back toward its ancestral roots and cultural consciousness. This wasn't just a hit record, it was a resurrection. Was this the rebirth of roots reggae? To many, there was no doubt. The Archangel had brought the soul back to the music. His songs started dominating charts. Hello Mama Africa, Silk's first international hit. The inspirational Zion in a Vision, Fill Us Up with Your Mercy, and Oh Me, Oh My. During his tenure with Sly and Robbie, Silk produced recordings that were nothing short of masterful. From the profoundly spiritual Thank You Jah to the ethereal, lingering melodies of Green Line. However, his relentless momentum proved unsustainable. The breaking point came during a performance at the Ritz in New York City, where Silk collapsed on stage from sheer exhaustion. This physical toll forced a 6-month hiatus, resulting in the heartbreaking cancellation of several high-profile appearances. Most notably his anticipated set at Reggae Sunsplash. By 1994, Silk had found his footing once again. In a symbolic gesture of reconciliation, he reunited with Steely and Clevie to record the massive hit, Love Is the Answer, followed by the powerful Fight Back, produced by Richie Stephens. Reinvigorated and ready to reclaim his mantle, he returned to the stage with a vengeance. His performances at that year's Reggae Sunsplash and Reggae Sunsplash were nothing short of phenomenal. The latter was immortalized in the 1999 Taboo 1 release, Live at Reggae Sunsplash 1994, which remains a definitive testament to his live prowess. And then, the big move. With a major international deal signed with Atlantic Records, the world was finally within Silk's reach. He poured his spirit into 10 new tracks for his highly anticipated sophomore album, creating a sound that transcended the dance hall. The industry buzz was deafening. Critics and fans alike began to speak his name in the same breath as legends, hailing him as the true heir to Bob Marley's throne and the next global icon of reggae. But at the very threshold of international superstardom, tragedy struck with a cruelty that stunned the nation. On December 9, 1994, while visiting his mother in Mandeville, a fire broke out in her home. Though Silk initially escaped the flames, he realized his mother was still trapped inside. In a final, selfless act of devotion, he rushed back into the inferno to save her. neither emerged. The music world was left in mourning, paralyzed by the loss of a 28-year-old visionary who had only just begun to speak to the world. Garnett Silk didn't just leave behind 10 unreleased tracks for Atlantic Records. He left behind a spiritual void in reggae that many feel has never truly been filled. Sometimes heroes don't wear crowns. Sometimes they run into burning buildings.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. No. He maketh me to lie in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He restored my soul. Splashing, dashing, restless sea. Ever still love Rasta.
The silence left by his passing was finally broken in 2000, when Atlantic Records released the definitive collection, featuring the 10 tracks from his unfinished sessions. The album served as undeniable proof of his trajectory. Garnett Silk was indeed prepared for global superstardom. But his impact transcended mere sales. A wave of tributes followed, from Maccabee's lyrical honors to a steady stream of compilations that kept his message in constant rotation. Today, the Silk lineage continues through his son, Garnett Smith Jr., and his nephew, Anthony Cruz, both of whom carry the torch of his conscious style. It is the ultimate irony of his story. Though he perished in a fire, his legacy did not burn. It multiplied. Was he the next Bob Marley? Perhaps. But in the grand design of reggae, maybe Garnett Silk was never meant to replace anyone. Maybe his purpose was to remind us of a singular truth, that consciousness can coexist with romance, and that spirituality can still conquer the charts. He proved that greatness doesn't require decades to define itself, it only requires impact. In the end, 28 years were enough. Enough to ignite a movement. Enough to heal a genre. And enough to ensure his voice would echo forever.
To teach and comfort people. Because Jah put her here for do the work there.